So I'm Chi from the Product Development Division for Mun Hean, and I would like to share with you today the advances in cloud EMS technology. So we will split into three parts. The first part is we will go through like the history and how EMS is generally implemented, and then part two we will talk about the evolution, how the scenario has changed over years, and then last part is the advances in the cloud EMS-based solution, which is also the DaxView solution launched on the site there. You can see that we have a demo kit, and there will be a tea break between part 2 and 3, and you can gather around and share with us your situation you have and opportunity that you have, and then our staff will be able to show you how our system can help. Okay, so the first part, okay, limitation on-premise solution. So traditionally, the energy management solution is built on top of BMS. So BMS is actually a form of SCADA, and is used to monitor a traditional wired plant. So in a facility like a switch room, machine room, and you have hardwired system, and these are we call it client servers architecture. So everything is hardwired to a central computer, and everything is I would say permanently responding to we call it a polling method, meaning the server will have to continuously poll and ask each one of the device to respond in order to get a status update. And we call this the traditional software, where you have a call and respond and update to the system, and the data is then written to some form of database. And we have most popular way of using a Modbus as a communication protocol. So this allows systems to provide I would say written log of event, and it has been used in the I would say EMS and BMS system for the last 30-40 years, and we are seeing a lot of challenges coming forward. So what are the challenges? So one of it is increasing cost of maintenance and operation. So in all these systems, you will have a server, you have a network equipment, you have cabling, and all these require continuous upkeeping. And one of the most expensive and important one is, of course, the server. Yeah, there's the brain, the master. So that device, the server, need to be continuously checked, maintained, hardware upgraded, and sometimes you have things like unforeseen interruptions and difficulty to call in emergency support. So you have downtime in the systems, and this impacting the operation for the business in quite a big way. Especially now, we have continuous energy reporting requirement for all commercial buildings. Service downtime for the energy reporting is not acceptable. So one of the, I think, more common things that we face as engineer is doing troubleshooting. So once in a while, you say that some devices are offline, then we call in our engineers to come in to troubleshoot. So in traditional system, because it's hardwired, you need to physically trace the physical cable, yeah, and the physical cable need to trace to the correct device. So this all requires some form of tagging, labeling, and finally finding the problem circuit. So in a lot of times we find as engineer is on-site condition is not very easy to work, and a very simple one is like the CT for power meters. They are connected, they are reading some value, but somehow the value is wrong. So how come that is the position those CTs are installed? Very simple thing, and it always causes a lot of confusion, and we have I would say high cost in maintenance service and going back and retrofitting and checking. So these are causing downtime, and the restoration is becoming expensive. Then the second part, I think, is for commercial. So especially in new project and also expansion project, you have a cost of project. You would like to minimize that, and of course the time to be as short as possible. And one of the longest time, effort, and cost in the project deployment is cabling. So cabling, pulling the wire, putting the trunking, very simple, but sometimes it can cost up to about 30% of the total cost of project. And the bigger the plant, the more expensive this is, and sometimes you feel that, hey, I only have a handful of devices, maybe 50 devices, but they are scattered in a large area. So to do conventional wiring is very expensive. Of course, before this time, we have no choice, so we have to get our electrician friend and contractor and suppliers to come in to do this part, and yeah, we have to pay a higher price and longer time to get the project online. So in a lot of places, we have covered in all the major switch room, all the main switch room, subboard, all this equipment. You have panel meters installed, and we can link it up to a conventional EMS quite easily. But it is at the fringe network, the one that is further away towards the equipment, and sometimes maybe in the chiller plant or in the pump room. So these places are not in the normal electrical accessibility places. You don't have proper trunking, or maybe it's in the middle of the field that there's no not a very practical way to drill a pipe across the road and lay two cables. So a lot of these places are left unattended, and we find that more and more cases of equipment malfunction and also reporting are requiring the logging of these required difficult to reach areas. And yeah, so this is one difficult to reach areas. So water logging. So water logging, meter logging is conventionally, we only have one at the main intake water pipe. In a lot of cases now, we need to monitor toilet, of course, kitchens and tenant usage. And a lot of these places are, again, not in the normal accessible area. Yeah. And to do wired meter to water point is on top challenging, and second is very unreliable. Unreliable because of corrosion. Water and metal wire doesn't go hand in hand. Yeah, when you have exposed wire running a long distance connecting to some water point, it will always rust. Yeah, from our direct experience, those conventional meter with wired reading will develop some form of disconnection after about just 1.5 to 2 years. Yeah, a lot of time is due to some form of water seepage into the contact, and it has corrosion because it's an electrical system. It will have advanced corrosion, so it will lose contact very soon, and then you got to go back and rework again and change those metering points. Okay, so yeah, so we need to monitor them, but we need to do it in another way, which later on I will speak more about that. Okay, then of course alert system. So in a lot of critical system, we need to notify things like breaker status strip. Yeah, that is the most important, I think, for all the electrical system, to notice whenever there is an interruption, service operation need to be alert immediately. And conventional system also used to be us. We like to use SMS because it's easily configured. You just add in the phone number to the server, and if trigger something, you should get a message quite soon. So in normal situation like testing, I just trigger one alarm and 2 people will get it. Yeah, test will pass. But when there is a real event, and normally this event need to be passed to many more people because it's maybe severe, critical. So you need to send to operation supervisor level, and maybe even the manager in charge of the plant. So when SMS system is used to send out large number of message, it will have this we call it telco delay. Okay, it's a bit of like a speed clamp down by telco. So when you try to send too many messages at one time, the telco operator will tend to we call it throttle the speed. So the first guy will get the message, but the second message may need to wait maybe 10 minutes. The third guy will need to wait even longer. And in our case, we experience some customer receive message the next day. So in that case, the system has failed to notify, because it took too long to reach the recipient. Okay, then very I think close to heart is a lot of this servers problem. So local server, so we always do maintenance on servers, and sometimes servers do get disconnected. In a lot of places, we find that the physical protection of the server is also not very well taken care of, meaning non-authorized people can get direct contact to the server. So a lot of time we see that the servers goes into some form of hang state, and then we try to restart it. And a lot of time is due to some form of corruption. It could be the hard disk corruption, or the OS has some problem that was it deployed some update and the update is not completely installed, and when you try to reboot the server, it does not reboot properly. Yeah, and sometimes it's power. We know all servers have UPS, yeah, but we also know that sometimes the UPS, when it's supposed to work, it didn't quite work. Yeah, so we have interruption from server, and that causes, I would say, sudden and very damaging interrupt to the service, because we can't get the server rebooted. And then, yeah, just now we talked about the physical access security. So this one very interesting thing is customer asks us, so our server do not have internet, so we connect this to our system and monitor, but somehow we got a surprise shock one day when we come in, the screen is all black and then showing a message, something like this. It happened to some of our customers, a blue screen, that instant, not this black screen, is saying that your server is now being encrypted, and in order to get back your information, you need to send us some bitcoins. So this happened in Singapore. So what happened is USB thumb drive. Okay, so the server, although do not have internet, the USB thumb drive that is used by staff to copy files, to do backup from the hard disk, can be contaminated, and the malicious virus, and in this case the ransomware virus, has transport into the server by a very innocent USB usage. Yeah, I'm supposed to download and backup. Yeah, like backup, I always use a USB drive to backup, and inevitably the server now is being compromised. And yeah, so even without internet, your server can also be hijacked. So yeah, quite surprised, but it's real. Yeah, it happened in our areas of business. Okay, then yeah, those are all the, I would say, operation things and security. So if we say that, yeah, we do a bit more detailed checking and maybe secure the access, maybe we can improve that. But then going forward, with energy management system, we are now moving to more analytic. It used to be the EMS is based on BMS architecture, so we only have basic logging, consumption kWh or meter cube consumption, and simple report. But in modern energy management and environment monitoring system, we need to do more analytic to do things, predict fault, and also looking at possible trend of fault. So these two example is very good. So we have at the bottom is we call it heat map. Yeah, that is the consumption of whether it's energy or water or other resources over different period of time. And then by looking at changes in color intensity of the chart, the human operator can quickly find out if there is any abnormal condition. Okay? When we have small number of devices, we can do this quite okay with a human going through it once a week and checking. But when we have more and more devices, this starts to become a mind-numbing activity, looking at color charts and trying to pick up spots. And then on the top is regression analysis. So regression is basically comparing two parameters. So one interesting area is we sell earth leakage relay, Mun Hean earth leakage relay, very popular. So one aspect is to detect any change in the leakage level across the load. Yeah. So in a lot of modern equipment, like even these lights over here, they are inverter driven lights. So they are all having some form of leakage. So when you have more of this load running, it's expected that your leakage will increase. So if your network has a corresponding increase, is normal. Yeah. But however, where your load is not increasing, but you have a sudden increase or slowly increasing of this leakage, then that is a sign of abnormal. So using this kind of analysis, the operation staff can do predictive maintenance in a more human way, meaning you have a human engineer looking through this chart and trying to find out things if they are problematic and act before something goes wrong. But another thing is when we start to deploy this kind of chart and graph, although existing system, a lot of them have this, it starts to slow down significantly when you add more device, and also the time duration, meaning the longer that your plant has been operating, where you have more data, the slower these charts respond become. So that is another feedback we have received. People ask, can you make the chart faster? You know, when we try to load this chart, you used to take like 2 seconds, it's all right, but now it's taking like 1 minute before the chart is complete. So it's not acceptable anymore. So we've also received this request to improve. Okay, so that is the history. Yeah. So I try to move that fast because this second part is the more in depth. So the second part talk about evolution. So just now is history, and evolution is the new technology and the changes in how we handle energy and environment monitoring system to make them more efficient, more productive, and reduce the cost.